Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
Having a hard time finding all my buttons this morning. Hold on there. There we go. It's Saturday, June 4th, 2022. We are live at DFW Airport very early this morning on a special day, and we'll tell you all about that as we go forward. It is overcast. It is muggy, but otherwise very pleasant. Very damp out here today. We haven't been with you in a while, and one of the reasons is because I've been battling bronchitis the last week. Still kind of lingering, but we'll muddle through today. There is the UPS cargo hub. You just saw an MD-11 arriving from, I believe it was Louisville. We have a pretty nice sunrise over here, but let's take a look over here. I think we've got a sun country up and away. Am I right? Yes. Focus may be a little problem until it gets brighter here. We're just about 15 minutes before, 10 or 15 minutes ahead of sunrise. This plane's on its way to Cancun, this 737-800. So we've got some new equipment today. A new encoder for our camera. Actually, it's a switcher, but I only have one camera going right now. That will be for another day. We have a somewhat new connection to the internet. So I'm hoping that will improve our signal today. It looks smooth so far. And here is your sunrise on this early June day. Now today's a special day for us because we are here early this morning to honor one of our regular viewers. Her name is Reyna Taylor. She is headed off this morning to the Special Olympics in Orlando, Florida, where she will compete in equestrian events. It's the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. They only happen once every 4 years. And the fun gets underway tomorrow with a big opening event. There'll be more than Rayna will be among 5,500 athletes and coaches from all 50 states and the Caribbean. So there's going to be a lot of folks there, and we wish her all the luck in the world, and we're here to see her plane take off. And that will be coming up. It's scheduled for 7 o'clock. And we hope to be able to bring that to you live if everything goes well. Hopefully they'll dispatch her plane over to the west side of the airport where we are. We don't have a viewing location on the east side, so if her plane takes off from over there, the best we'll be able to do is to pick it up from behind the buildings over there as it goes up into the sky. But we are here for you, Rayna. We are glad to send you off. And one of the things I thought we would do today is, we ask you for tips and contributions sometimes to Runway DFW. Well, today, any tips you make to our site at streamlabs.com/runwaydfw, guess what we're going to do? We're going to just turn that all over to Special Olympics in Reyna's name. So if you go to streamlabs.com/runwaydfw, make a contribution of any size. What I'll do is after the broadcast, I'll tote it all up and I will forward it directly to Special Olympics on her behalf, in her name. So I hope that is agreeable to all of you. And if you can also go to support.specialolympics.org if you want to make a contribution directly. That's fine too. They'll be able to give you a tax receipt. I can't, so that might be one consideration. We are waiting now for a flight from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is coming in about 6 minutes. It may come in on the east side. We'll see. We'll have to see. It'll be a Dreamliner, American Airlines Flight 962. As you might expect at this hour of the day. Even here at the world's busiest airport, it's a little slim pickings. And that was the sound of my microphone dropping off of my clip from that's hanging off my glasses. So sorry about that, folks. Let's say good morning to Bill Caldum. He's a regular viewer here on Runway DFW. We hope our signal's coming in loud and clear. Good morning to you, Wendy. Hope all is well. Yeah, as I said earlier, I've been battling bronchitis this week, and so I'm still a little goopy. And so I may have to turn off my mic to cough every now and again. Donnie Palmer is saying, great to see you live again, Walt. I'm planning on being there. Oh. It means they're here in person. I hope so. Good. We'll look forward to you. Deborah Klein saying everything's looking good. Adam Cavani saying, hey there, back to you. And Jose de Caires, good day to all from Johannesburg. Good day to you too. We're just going into summertime here, and you're headed into the wintertime down there, aren't you? So good to have you all aboard. And once again, if you do want to make a contribution to Special Olympics, we will accept it on your behalf. Well, actually on the behalf of our good friend Reyna Taylor, who is somewhere over there, probably in Terminal E right now, waiting to board her flight to Houston, which will take her, I guess it's going to be a change of planes to Orlando, where she will be participating in the Special Olympics. And we're going to do our best to catch her flight coming in. Now we've got the flight from Sao Paulo, which is, looks like it is going to come in on this side. It's going to be a 787-9 Dreamliner. We're not pointing to it quite yet. Well, I guess we can see it in the air there. All right, let's turn things around here. Because you don't want to see landscape, you want to see airplanes. We're going to have a sign in our way here. Got a little different setup than I'm accustomed to. I'm trying out some new things. But hopefully, it looks so far as though our signal is holding up, which is the main thing. You know, I can yak all I want, but if you're not seeing pictures, or if you're only seeing one new picture every couple of seconds, that's the problem we've been having here. The problem I'm having right now is focus, because it's still a little dark out here at the airport. You like this new voice I've got from dealing with bronchitis? So this plane's coming in after a 9.5-hour flight from South America. Guess I'll just stay wide for the moment. And you're watching all this on Runway DFW. Definitely keeping my fingers crossed about our internet connection today. So far, so good. And Bill Caldham agrees. Thank you for that report. We've got another flight coming in from overseas. It's a domestic flight, technically. This is American Airlines Flight 6, another 787-9 Dreamliner. This one's coming in from Maui. So aloha to Flight 6 on Runway DFW. Double Dreamliners for you here on Runway DFW. I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye. Something new I hadn't seen before, like some interference, like some intermittent interference in the picture that as I was watching this plane come in. So I guess we'll keep our eye on that. That again was coming in from Maui. There it was right there. I don't know what that was. Kind of like that bounce in the picture. As I said, I'm working with some new equipment today. I think everything's plugged in right. Hello, are you there? I think we're back. We had our cycle back up. So we're back, and I hope this will work as we go along. Apsifable says, Walt, your voice sounds different from before. Is it me, or does your new equipment make such a difference? It's more bronchitis, which makes the difference, actually. There's Rayna. Morning to you, Reyna Taylor. We are here waiting for your flight. I hope it's on time. And we'll be doing our best to get a picture of it as it goes up in the air. If it leaves here on the... If your plane is shuttled over here to the west side, we'll get a good look at it. If it takes off on the east side, well, then we'll have to watch it from behind the buildings. And yeah, I am seeing an occasional flash in our picture, and I don't know what's causing that. That right there. I know we're near a tower. I think we've looked at this before here on Runway DFW. We're at DFW Founders Plaza, which is a friendly place to watch planes take off and land. But right there is a beacon. Beacon is kind of hidden behind that street light, but it's a green beacon, but it also has a bunch of radio equipment on it, communications gear and whatnot, and I don't know if that has any if that interferes with our signal or not. I suspect it might. in some cases. I am going to reorient some of my gear here so there's not as much strain on the power cable to my modem. Okay. Shane checks in, flying into DFW next month from MCO. And that is the destination of our friend Reyna Taylor, who is at Terminal E right now, waiting for her flight. And as if you weren't here earlier, Reyna is off to the Special Olympics in Orlando. They kick off tomorrow with a big welcoming event, and then the competitions start on Monday. And as you can see in the scroll at the bottom of the screen, we are accepting tips today, as we usually do, but every tip we get is going to be, I'm going to send it on in to the Special Olympics. So if you go to streamlabs.com/runwaydfw, you can make a contribution there and a tip, and I will total those all up, and we will get that money right to Special Olympics after the broadcast today. So thanks in advance for anything you might want to contribute to that. As you look at the sunrise here, yeah, we're looking at the sunrise because ain't nothing happening right here as far as airplanes go. Rayna, I'm so happy to wait for your flight, and let us know if there's any delays, because I don't have all the comings and goings here right in front of me, but hopefully it'll be on time, scheduled for 7 a.m. I believe. We have Bruno Diaz Fernandez saying, hello Dallas from Spain. Good morning to you, Bruno, or I guess it's more like a midday there in España. So happy to have all of you with us this morning. Well, so far we've had one mess up here. I do have a secondary transmission point going now, so it'll be a little faster to switch over if we lose our primary one. But glorious good morning to you from here at DFW Airport. I had wanted earlier this week on June 1st at around 8 o'clock in the evening, my hope was to have brought you the arrival of Iberia's return to DFW. And regrettably, I couldn't make it because of my ongoing bout with bronchitis. So hopefully we'll catch that flight coming in soon. Did we say hi to Andrew? Not yet. Good day, DFW from Australia. And good day to you. You know, it's funny, my wife got a, she's a horse person, and she's got like a whole wall full of books about horses. And she got a package in the mail yesterday from Australia Post because her book was from down under. It was a horse book, so it was so interesting to see the packaging. It's just from our packaging, and it was interesting to watch her open it up. And Rayna is giving us a progress report. I lost my ID card. Oh no, but I have it now, so I can go through security. My aunt is helping me, and I'm not missing my flight. Don't you miss that flight, Rayna. We're all with you. If you missed it earlier, Rayna is on her way to the Special Olympics USA event in Orlando, Florida. Her flight's scheduled to leave at 7, about a half hour from now. And we're going to follow that flight up in the air. Whether it takes off from the west side here at DFW Airport, over which we have Dominion, or the east side where we don't get to see quite as much going on. But we'll watch it take off from behind the buildings as best we can. Either way, we'll get a view of it. It looks like they're doing some runway inspection work here on the west side, which may be one reason for the subdued nature of what we're seeing right now. But there you see one of the vehicles. And of course, these aren't necessary inspections. Now that the sun has risen, they can get a good look at the runway, make sure there's no parts that have dropped off of an aircraft, or no trash that has blown on, which could get sucked into an engine. So it's just, you see this at every airport. And of course, this being the second busiest in the world, there's going to be a lot of flights coming and going. There you see a Japan Airlines 787, which came in before we went on the air today. Well, there's an interesting one. That's a special livery American Airlines, and I can't remember what airline that pays tribute to. That one with the greenish tail there. So anyway, our signal looks good today, I think, so far. We do have Alaska Airlines Flight 287, which is approaching the starting gate. So I guess we'll be seeing this take off soon. There it is. This is a 737-990ER. And it is flight, did I say? Flight 287. And there it goes with the East Tower of DFW in the background and the skyline of Dallas kind of hazily in behind that. a snappy turn here. Point its nose to the south, which of course is not where Seattle is in relation to Dallas, but that's how the runways go here, north and south for the most part. There are a couple of crosswind runways, one on either side of the big airport. Those are pretty big old winglets on that there jet. This is a 4-year-old aircraft, so I'd put that in the pretty new category, right? Let us turn our attention now to this plane. It's American Eagle Flight 3760. At Embraer 175. And this is coming in from Killeen in Texas. A brief 31-minute jaunt. And here it is. Cough. Oh my. Let's look over on the other side of the airport to American Airlines Flight 2782 coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana. And because this is coming in on the east side, we'll just get we'll get to see it until just before it touches down, because it's going to go behind buildings and such. So all right, now we're going to get the play-by-play from Rayna. who has now made it to the gate and about to board soon. Good luck. Your tale has a happier ending than mine did. My wife and I were going on vacation to the Caribbean, and you know, I in my mind I knew where my passport was. I knew exactly where it was. And then, you know, about a day before we were leaving, I'm starting to pack up, and the passport is not where I thought it was, and I could not find it. And I went into a tizzy. And so I had to take my wife to the airport on the day we were to leave, and I had to say goodbye to her, and I was stuck because I didn't have a passport, and I had to find a way to get one. So our flight went through Miami, our scheduled flight, and so I got myself on a plane to Miami where there was a passport office, and the passport office opened, I don't know, like 7 o'clock, and the plane I had to catch at the Miami airport was going to be, I think, at noon or 12:30 or something like that. And anyway, it was just it would have made a nice comedy, I think. It didn't seem like a comedy at the time, because I brought luggage to the passport office, but they didn't have a place to check it, so then I had to take my luggage back to the Fleabag motel or hotel where I stayed in downtown Miami, which was not at all luxurious. And but somehow I did get on. They told me I couldn't get on the flight because I was too late, but somehow they let me on, so all was well. So I got there a day late and enjoyed the rest of the vacation. So I'm looking at the radar. I don't see Reyna's flight to Houston lighting up yet. It's a United Airlines flight, so we'll be on the lookout for that, Reyna. Don't know if you'll be able to watch us on the plane, but it'll be recorded, and in fact, whatever I can record, I will send you a link to it, so you'll be able to see it easily when you get to Houston or to Orlando when you have a little bit of spare time. That was American Eagle Flight 3177 coming in from Colombia. We have looks like a Delta flight coming over. There it is. Where is this one going? Delta flight is flight 1325. It's an A320 on its way to Los Angeles. So it's going to be pulling up here, but I guess ahead of it is this American Airlines flight 1579. That one there. (737-800) on its way to Chicago. And Rayna updates the chat room that she's boarding now, so everything is going her way. We're glad to hear that. Luke Molds, our friend Luke Molds from down in New Zealand is watching, where it's 11:40 p.m. Saturday night. Luke is on a rugby team, as I recall. Is it a team or a squad? I don't know the correct terminology. I'm not the biggest sports nut in the world, but he and his mates watch us occasionally, and we're happy to have you on board, Luke. It's 6:41 here at DFW Airport. My name is Walt. Happy to have you on board with us for this very special edition of Runway DFW, where we're awaiting the takeoff of a United Airlines flight for Houston. Why are we waiting for that? Well, that's because that's the one that our friend Reyna Taylor is on her way to Special Olympics. And you can see in the crawl down at the bottom of the screen, if you choose to favor us with a tip today, we will turn that right around in full to the Special Olympics in Reyna's name, because she's our pal. What was that, you say? What is that coming in? That's coming in from Lawton, Oklahoma. It's American Eagle Flight 3592 and Embraer 145. So now we've got these two jets here up at the north end of runway 18 left. First in line is the American flight to Los Angeles, and then we've got right behind it the Delta flight to, I can't remember where it's going. The Delta flight's going to Los Angeles. The American flight's going to Chicago. So. This Delta flight is wasting no time in getting off the mark. The sun is kind of peeking through right now. And I see that Luke is favoring us with some information about his sport. First XV rugby team here in New Zealand. We lost our game today, 15 points to 14. What? 2 wins, 1 loss so far this season. Well, good for you guys. 15 to 14. You probably should have. There's probably some officiating miscue or something during the game, I suspect, but Good effort, you guys, and looks like you're doing well so far this season. SB saying hello, and hello to you. Welcome to Runway DFW, where we're keeping our fingers crossed for our continued good connection. We've got American Airlines flight 2563 coming in now from Austin, Texas, the capital. Boeing 737-800 on Runway DFW. Reyna's getting a little bossy with the flight. I told the flight attendant to make sure that we leave on the west side of the airport where I am. So I hope that works. I don't know if it will, but I'm glad you put in a good word for us, Reyna. Because we'll see your plane one way or another. Here comes American Airlines, American Eagle Flight 3647. It's an Embraer 145 coming in from Abilene in Texas. These 145s, I've said this before, they almost look like a miniature Concorde. At least the nose part of it does, because it's so pointy. Obviously they're not supersonic, that I know of. I'm not yet seeing Reyna's flight pushing back from Terminal E. But we should be seeing it very shortly. Over yonder on the east side, we've got American Airlines Flight 1108 coming in from the Motor City. But I don't spy it with my eye yet. But that is the sunrise. Oh, there it is. We'll watch this glide over to the east side, if I can pick it out of the sky. That's a 737-800. That is at maximum zoom, so it's still a fur piece away from where we are. Very pleasant 71 degrees here at DFW right now. I'm sure it'll be going up to about 175 degrees later in the afternoon, but for right now, kind of pleasant. Had a lot of rain this week. The air is thick, I guess you would say. And because of the sun's position, we're getting pretty much just a silhouette of the aircraft at this point. Yeah, that's about all of that we'll see. Hello to you, Sam Richardson. Thanks for hopping on board with us. And Luke with some more information about his rugby. We've got 2 more must-win games coming up on Wednesday and one next Saturday. If we win both, we automatically move up to Division 1 top division rugby for college players here in New Zealand. Well, we'll look forward to your reporting on that, and we wish you and your mates good luck. And Ken G, good morning to you. Hello, Ken G. Good to see you. We are live at DFW International Airport. We are supporting Special Olympics today, and our own Special Olympian, who's one of our regular viewers, Reyna Taylor, who is now on board a United Airlines plane, which is getting ready to pull back from Terminal E. And we're going to follow her plane up in the sky, whether it comes over to this side or whether it blasts off from the east side of the airport. And I know all of our Runway DFW fans out there are behind your efforts. Rayna is an equestrian. She'll be competing in events starting on Monday. I don't know if her events will start on Monday. I know the equestrian events as a whole start on Monday. That's down in Orlando, Florida. What are we looking at there? We're looking at an Ameriflight Beech C-99 airliner. It's a cargo plane. It's headed to Amarillo, Texas. Wow. I think this gets the award, at least so far today, for aged planes. This one is 40 years old. It dates back to 1982. Could be older than the pilot. Coming in from Waco, Texas, it's American Eagle Flight 3512. Oops. It's an Embraer 145. Here's this beach. think it's probably just going to take off from a short position there on 18 left. Because it doesn't need much runway. Not like the big jets. Too much. It's like taking off from a driveway. Hey Sam, hang on a second. Sorry about that. Sam says he's loving the stream so far. It's amazing seeing all the airplanes. Thanks so much, Walt. You are one of a star, the best. Well, thank you. So I get a 1-star review from Sam. Oh, and somebody was mentioning, who's it, Gil? Saying, watch the American Eagle Retro Embraer tail. And I think we saw that. Was I pointing over here? Is that where I saw it? I was going to mention it, but or maybe, no? Oh, there it is. Yeah, see it? That's retro, baby. That's over at the American Airlines hangar area. Reyna Taylor reminds us she's on United Flight 1849. And we're on the lookout for it. Here comes American Airlines Flight 4046 coming in from Amarillo in Texas, West Texas. Oil country. Did I say American Airlines? That's American Eagle, of course. An Embraer 175. And now we are seeing Reyna's flight lining up the radar, so it's pushing back now, according to Flight Radar 24. On its way to Houston. She is on board a 19-year-old Airbus A320. So probably one of the older aircraft in United's fleet, but we are keeping an eye on it, so now we can watch that. And Reyna confirms that her plane is pushing back. Meanwhile, over on this side of the big aeropuerto, we've got another Los Angeles-bound plane. This is an American Airlines Flight 1794. It is 737-800. So we had seen a Delta bound for LAX, and now we've got an American flight bound for LAX. Obviously one of the top destinations from this airport. We're keeping an eye on Reyna's flight, hoping that the flight controllers will direct it over here so we can look at it just like this. And wish Reyna a happy flight to Houston and then on to Orlando for the Special Olympics. And I forgot to take down Oli's message there. Sorry about that. Oh, and Sam says, Walt, from me, 5 million stars. Dave Shaw has just subscribed to our channel. Rob B has just subscribed. Thank you both. And if you do contribute to our Special Olympics fund today at streamlabs.com/runwaydfw, you'll see your name pop up there with a little fireworks show. There's Ken G. Wow, $20 tip. And we will, thank you Ken G, we will be forwarding that to Special Olympics as soon as this broadcast ends. In Reyna's name, in her honor. Welcome John Davis, who just subscribed to our channel. Thank you for... We're moving towards, what was it, 4,000? Can't remember now. I've lost track. Here comes American Airlines Flight 3976. No, American Eagle Flight 3976. Sorry about that. And Embraer 175. According to my radar view, Reyna's flight hasn't moved very far. Can't tell yet where it's going to take off from. It's going to take off from one of the 7 runways here at DFW Airport. I can tell you that. Reyna saying she's taxiing now. Her plane is headed north past Terminal C. Again, she's on an A320. That's not what we're looking at there now, of course. We're looking at a little cargo plane, which is scooting across the runway. I don't know what its destination is. Looks like this one's headed over to the east side for a takeoff operation. But there behind those buildings somewhere is Reyna's plane. So the question is, will we see it come over here to the west side of DFW Airport? Our radar says it's moving north at 15 miles an hour along the ground. In the meantime, we've got another Sun Country plane. We saw one take off earlier for Cancun. This one's also going to Cancun. So yeah, Saturday morning, let's go to Cancun. While I'm watching on the radar, I'm watching Reyna's United Airlines jet. Still tracking to the north as it taxis, and we'll see pretty soon whether it crosses the bridge over to the west side here or if it is in position for a takeoff there on the east. In any event, we will bring you as much of that activity as we can. Because I promised her we would do that. Okay, Sun Country off to Cancun. We've got a Frontier flight going to Denver over here. Flight 507. I'm gonna say that Reyna's plane is probably, looks like it's making a turn now. It'll be over there somewhere. I don't think that we'll be able to see it, but it is making a turn now to, it looks like, well, I can't tell yet. I wish it would come over the bridge here, but I don't think it's going to. And if you've just joined us, we're talking about Reyna Taylor, who is a Special Olympian, an equestrian medal winner who is on her way to a national competition held once every 4 years. This one in Orlando, Florida, the Special Olympics USA, I believe is what it's called. So we are wishing her well, as you can see in the scroll at the bottom of the screen. If you want to send us a contribution, we are going to turn all of our tips and contributions today over to Special Olympics in Reyna's name. And Reyna's plane is now making a right-hand turn. To get in the queue for taking off. So we'll be in position after we watch this Frontier flight head off to Denver. We're going to be in position to watch her plane taking off. And it looks like it's right behind a plane, an American flight to Miami. So what we're going to see is her plane lifting off from behind those buildings over there. Kind of like that one. Well, we'll get a better view of it than that. We'll follow the Miami plane, first of all, to kind of get our bearings. So the Miami plane is now rolling down the runway 35 right. We should see it coming up from behind those buildings momentarily. There it goes. There's the American Airlines flight that precedes Reyna's plane. So I've got kind of a general idea of where we can expect to see it from. So we'll lock in our shot there. Reyna's A320, United Flight 1849, is got nose pointed south. Ready to take off to Houston. And we are ready to capture as much of it as we can from our position here on the west side of DFW. And her plane is off. And I'm scanning the skies now for it. There it is. And there goes our friend, Reyna Taylor, off to Orlando by way of Houston to the Special Olympics USA in Orlando. We all wish you much good luck. I didn't tell you what that was. That was American Flight 817 coming in from Anchorage. Yeah, Alaska. It's apparently seasonal service that American has. We're accustomed to seeing cargo flights coming in from Anchorage, but I was surprised a couple of weeks ago when I said, what? That's a passenger plane coming in from Anchorage? Because we didn't really have any. You know, even Alaska Airlines flies here, but not to Alaska, at least not directly. There goes another United plane. That's an A319 off to, looks like Chicago O'Hare on the east side. So again, I want to thank Ken G for donating $20 that we will be forwarding over to Special Olympics as soon as this broadcast is over. And if you'd like to contribute, streamlabs.com/runwaydfw is where you go. You can leave us a tip, but any tips we get today on this broadcast will be transferred. I will transfer them over to Special Olympics. And if you feel better about giving to Special Olympics directly, it's support.specialolympics.org. And they're the ones who can give you a receipt for your donation. I can't. American Eagle, CRJ 900, flight 5772. And that, my friend, was coming in from Midland, Texas. Back over to our comments here. Sam wants to know, what plane name was that the person in this live was on? That was a United aircraft. I have lost the flight number. Let's see, it's back in the flight 1849. Reyna Taylor, and that's she's headed to Houston, changed planes to go to Orlando to the Special Olympics, where she competes in equestrian events. Coming in now from Seoul, we've got a Dreamliner. It's a Korean Airlines Dreamliner. It is Korean Airlines Flight 31, and it's coming in from Seoul on Runway DFW. Yes, the Pepsi plane. That, my friends, is a sparkling new, relatively new, 3-year-old Dreamliner, 787-9. Touching down after almost 12 hours in the air. And I believe that Korean Air and American Airlines and most airlines are now avoiding Russian airspace because of world events. So they've got to make a kind of a fly a more southerly route than they normally had been doing. Because I remember when I flew American over to Korea and back to visit my son about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I remember us flying over Russian territory for part of the journey. Look at this thing go. Looks like it's going to take off to the east, almost. I've never seen a plane go that fast on the taxiway. So anyway, a lot of airlines have had to change their flight path to get out of the way of any. That's an interesting plane. It's an Ameriflight Beech 1900C. As we watch this flight coming in from Wichita, looks like an A319, I'm going to say. Pretty distinctive looking aircraft. Flight 2862. So here at the top of runway 18 left, we've got a couple of prop planes, and they're going to be joined momentarily by a Spirit Airlines flight to Las Vegas. Flight radar not telling us how old that plane was, the Beech 1900C. Well, we've got the Spirit flight to Vegas. We've got an American Airlines flight coming in from Oklahoma City. That's an A320, and here comes an A321, I think. Oklahoma City, just to the north of, well, capital of Oklahoma, a state that sits on top of Texas. So we got a couple of propellers spinning over here. One of which is a Cessna 208B Super Cargo Master, which is 25 years old, on its way to Tyler, Texas. Under an hour flight. Those little guys get off the ground before the big jets even can think about disengaging from the runway. Did I go past this already? I know there's a plane over there. Not that one on the right, but there's... Oh, there it is. No? Yes. This one appears to be the Super Cargo Master. Maybe they both are. No, this doesn't have the N number correct, so can't tell you what that one is, folks. Well, unusually we've got a FedEx flight coming in on this side. This is FedEx flight 1459 from Lubbock. It's an A300. Here for you this morning on Runway DFW. It's coming in from Lubbock after just a 47-minute flight. It's an A300 B4-622R, parentheses F. And that's a 20th century aircraft. Not as old as that prop plane we saw that was 30 years old, or those 40 years old. This one is 30 years old. And it is headed over to the east side where FedEx has its cargo hub. As I said, we don't see a lot of FedEx flights on this side, not at least in the daytime. They come and go mainly during the night, as do the UPS flights. So there you go. With that one, we've got Frontier. It's an A320. This one's headed to Las Vegas on Runway DFW. What's it got on the tail, folks? That's Cortez the Green Turtle. There it goes. Our camera position has been invaded by tiny flies. They're just swarming right now. I don't have any bug spray with me. It's 7:30 Central Time. Time for station identification here on the Runway DFW Broadcasting Network.
Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
Would help if I turned my microphone on. Hello everyone, my name is Walt. It's 7:31 on Flip Clock 77, and we're here. Things are going okay today. It's a Saturday, June the 4th. Had to think about that for a second. And we're here live with you for I don't know how long. I'm kind of operating under. I've got bronchitis, is what I got. So I don't have the stamina I normally do. We've been on the air now for, what is it, an hour and a half, so that's not that much, really. So I'll hang out as long as I can. I can hold out a little more. Might have a drink right now. Okay. So back to work on Runway DFW. As you can see, the scroll at the bottom, we are accepting donations for Special Olympics today in honor of Reyna Taylor, who we saw blasting off for Houston earlier in the hour. She is an equestrian, a Special Olympian, and she's on her way to Orlando for the Special Olympics USA competition, which happens just once every 4 years, so it's kind of a big deal. And so we've decided that if you want to favor us with a tip or a donation today for Runway DFW, we will in turn turn that right around to Special Olympics. Where there'll be more than at these games, the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games run through June, begin tomorrow, run through the 12th in Orlando, with more than 5,500 athletes and coaches from all 50 states and the Caribbean. So it's a big, big deal. And we wish Rayna well. And I know you all will be cheering her on, as will I. Okie doke. Let's see what we got going now. We did see this MD-11 come in just before we went on the air. You know, I'm going to try now. I haven't tried this before, so we'll see how it works. Try playing it back, the arrival of this. I recorded it, so let's see if we can play it back now. Screen's gonna be populated with a bunch of squares. I don't know which one is the right one here. Let's try this one. So again, this is a replay from earlier today, and I thought, is that the MD-11 coming in? Yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, it gets pretty blurry after this, and I guess the sound doesn't come through either, so yeah. It was before dawn, and so it was kind of hard to see. Well, and before that we had a Lufthansa flight. It was a Lufthansa cargo flight. I think it was it a 777? I think it was a 777 on its way to Frankfurt. And it was interesting because the tail was just brilliantly lit up, so you could see the Lufthansa logo, and the rest of the plane was very dark. So I did take some pictures of that, but I Should I try to play them back? There's nothing happening, so let me try to play that back. I think that's the one right before this. So let's just see what happens here. No, that was a false alarm. Can't remember what that one was. Oh, that's the one we just saw. It's like playing back home movies, isn't it? Well, at any rate, we'll go back to live action. That's what we're good at. There we go. Video recording mode. Kylo Ren Radio saying, hello from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Where is your tip jar? Well, owing to issues I have with YouTube, they haven't let me establish a tip jar here. So you've got to go to streamlabs.com/runwaydfw if you would be so kind to do that. And if you do that today, any donations we receive, we're going to forward on to Special Olympics in honor of our good friend Reyna Taylor, who, as we've been saying, is part of the Special Olympics USA event in Orlando coming up later this week. I guess the opening event will be on ESPN tomorrow here in the US. That should be fun to see. And wow, with the sun up now, it's up to 77 muggy degrees here at DFW. We are, as always, at DFW Founders Plaza. Excuse me. Which is a nice viewing area. Got your free parking. People come in. I see people come in for lunch or to just kind of watch planes. There's somebody with a glass truck, maybe taking a break. I have to say, we are being bombarded by little tiny flying objects here. I haven't confronted this before, and I didn't bring any bug spray today. Hey, you guys, we got some bugs over here. Maybe you can help us out. A little help, as my 5-year-old grandson would say. Well, we do have something coming in now. Something big, a heavy, as they say, the 777. Coming in from, I believe it's Buenos Aires. My finger's not pointing at the right thing here. Yes, it's Buenos Aires. It's a 10-hour flight, or just over a 10-hour flight. It's a 777-223. We'll be here in about a minute. It's American Airlines Flight 996, so here we go. Some big jet action for you on Runway DFW. That is a turn of the century 777 dating back to February of the year 2000. In the year 2000. We have Japan Airlines Flight 6713. That's a 787 Dreamliner, now pushing back from its gate at the international terminal. On its way to Tokyo. Narita Airport to be precise. I think that is it right there. It's getting, a tug is giving it a tug. Michael G. Kelly checking in from the Emerald Isle. Great job as always. Nice to see that 777, one of my favorites. Good to see you, Michael. Glad to have you on board. Technically, we're coming to you in 720p today because I didn't want to push it. I'm very happy with how things are going so far. Fingers crossed. As far as our transmission is going. So the next time, we'll give it a go at 1080p and see how that works. I just had me a big old sneeze. Things are very quiet on this side of the airport right now. Quite on both sides. We've got a flight coming in from Washington National Airport over there on the east side. American Flight 2866, an A320. When I can pick it out of the air, maybe I'll follow that one down in. Good morning to you, Donnie. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Kenji seems to think that things are going well today. We're having one of our rare, almost technical glitch-free broadcasts. We had one issue early on when the when our modem lost power, and I'm looking now and seeing. Hang on a second. I'm seeing that because I've got so much hooked up to my battery here. My laptop is going to be out of battery pretty soon, so our broadcast is probably not going to last much beyond the 8 o'clock hour here, and that's probably just as well based upon my my health because, as I mentioned before, I've got a diagnosis of bronchitis. And this is the longest I've talked in quite a while. So I may bail out here about after 10 minutes or so. But so far this experiment has been more or less successful. I've got to work on some more power for my laptop. So we'll watch this Japan Airlines flight take off for Tokyo. I don't know if there's going to be anything else to see. It's very quiet here. It may pick up around 9 o'clock, which it typically does here at DFW. But I'm going to put on my checklist for next time bug spray, because I haven't done this in the summertime yet. And technically, of course, it's not quite summer. But I do know from having lived here for, I don't know, 40 years or so, that it does get a bit toasty in the summertime, and little critters can be a problem. In fact, when I was doing a test last night in my driveway of some new equipment, so I had my tripod set up, my little table with all my stuff on it. Shall we look at all my stuff? I don't know if we can go wide enough. Oh, there we go. We've got computer, we've got internet connection, we've got iPad, we've got video switcher, we've got a new addition to the team, a Kindle, which I can keep notes on. And all of that is powered by, I can't really see it here, but down there, there's the big old marine battery. So I think I need another power adapter for I had to use the power adapter that I use for my notebook. I had to use it for the power of our internet connecting device. I know that doesn't make sense. It's all technical stuff. Sam Richardson saying, hi Walt from Derbyshire. Derbyshire. Is it Derbyshire? Derbyshire? Sorry about that. Nice seeing the like Airbus and 777 and Dreamliners. I hope you're okay, and I love your live. So good afternoon. And this live has a good view of the planes in Dallas, my favorite. We do have a good view from this side of the airport. Unfortunately, we don't get to see both sides. Clifton just subscribed to Runway DFW. Thank you for doing that. We welcome all new subscribers. We welcome your likes and your comments. We have a very fun chat room here at Runway DFW. That little United plane sneak in there. United plane's going to San Francisco. It's an A319. Looks like it's got first dibs. So we'll watch that take off. You can hear an American Airlines flight 1017. That's another A319 coming in from Silao in Mexico. So that one takes off. Let's see. you A319 fans. A doubleheader. Now we'll go back to the JAL, which I think will probably about do it for us today. Donnie's saying, we appreciate the stream, Runway DFW. Glad it's starting to work out for you. I'm glad too. I thought it was going to. I mean, it really seemed to down to the technical issues we were having with our connection. Everything else seemed to be working just fine. Off to Narita Airport. And now we're starting to see our signal deteriorate a little bit. Well, what are you going to do? Well, it's just before 8 o'clock here at the DFW Airport. It's quiet. And I think, based upon my not quite perfect yet health, I think I'm going to call it a morning here at DFW. Let's check our messages before we go. Dwayne C. says the stream has been good today, really good, and I'm glad about that. We'll try 1080p next time, see if that does any good. Kylo Ren Radio says just subscribed on Twitter. Yeah, I don't keep up with my Twitter account too much. I've got to be a little better about that. But I appreciate that. And yeah, with that I think we're gonna go. So let us first of all gotta cue this up here. And I gotta play some music here. What will I play? Turn that up. Okay, you've been watching Runway DFW live from DFW International Airport. My name is Walt. It's been my pleasure to bring you some interesting planes today. And before we go, hey, why not focus in on another heavy jet? This is coming in from Tokyo. It's Japan Airlines Flight 12. That's coming in from Haneda Airport, the other big airport in Tokyo. Okay. So now we'll say so long. We'll say, as we always do, or most of the time, happy contrails to you until we meet again. My name is Walt. See you soon. Thanks for watching Runway DFW.